Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so great to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. Hi, my beautiful friends. Happy Monday. How are you doing? I hope that you are doing so well and that you had a wonderful weekend. I hope you feel well rested and fulfilled and all of the incredible things. I am exhausted, but I'm feeling pretty good. I can't remember if I told you guys that I am doing a fitness competition at work. I feel like I said that, where we have 3 teams. There's 7 of us on each team, and basically we're trying to get the most amount of steps. And there are different activities that you can do that kind of correlate to a certain amount of steps. So if you were to swim, it gets you, I don't know how many steps per minute, but there is this conversion that we have. So we've been doing this for 2 months now. It'll be 2 months, I guess, since you're hearing this on Monday. It'll be 2 months yesterday. We're actually ending the challenge on May 31st here, which I'm kind of excited about, to be honest. We were supposed to do it for 3 months, but it's been a lot of work. And knowing me, I am a competitive spirit. I do like to win. I don't think that's bad to say, but I also am a good team sport. I feel as though I'm pretty humble about it. But anyway, I have competitive nature in me, and being a dancer, I've kind of always been that way. So I've been going crazy. Like every single day you have to be mindful of the activities that you're doing. At least I am. And so I'm getting a lot of steps per day. And then on top of that, I'm doing extra activities such as going to the gym, doing swimming, bike riding, all of that. And I mean, I would do that anyway. It's just I'm being more mindful about it. So to be honest, I'm very much looking forward to when the month of June is a lot nicer weather-wise. After work, I can just go on the beach and relax and read and suntan and not have to think about this challenge. But I wanted to update you guys on this. It kind of has to do with the challenge, but I accidentally found myself into a beach volleyball league, which is so exciting. I was playing frisbee with one of my friends out on the beach because it gets me points, obviously. And of course, it was gorgeous last week. For some of the days. So I really wanted to be outside. And there was 2 beach volleyball people, like groups playing, and there was one pretty close to us from where we were playing frisbee, and we just kept looking at them. Like, we were debating, my friend and I were debating whether or not we should go ask, and I was a little bit nervous too, but I very much wanted to play beach volleyball. We have a volleyball, or I got one, for this summer. I just don't have a net, so like I'd love to be playing. Anyway, they ended up asking us if we wanted to join their game, which was so kind of them to be so inclusive. And we played from probably 6 p.m. until 10. We had to stop when the sun went down and it was too dark to play. It was so much fun. I was a little rusty at first because it had been a while since I actually played a game of volleyball, and I'm used to indoor volleyball, let alone beach volleyball, but it was such a blast. Everyone was so kind, and they asked us if we wanted to be on the league. So I'm pumped about that. I have a tournament coming up tomorrow, which is Sunday for me. You're listening to this on Monday, but I've never been to a volleyball tournament in terms of beach volleyball before, so I'm very much pumped for that. I hope it goes well and I can play well. And this morning, I actually went for a seawall bike ride with some of my coworkers to, create more steps for our competition. And it was amazing. I have never biked through Stanley Park. I think it's a very well-known park in Vancouver. A lot of people come, and that's a tourist attraction for sure. But I've never done it in the almost 5 years that I've been here. So I did that with my coworkers. It was a lot of fun. Beautiful scenery. I found some new beaches that I've never been to, so I'm looking forward to walking it in the summer and going to those beaches and also doing another bike ride. I totally would do that. So that was incredible, and it's just going to be a busy weekend for me, filled with seeing my best friends perform and tonight. So I'm I'm pumped for that. I know they're going to be incredible. And yeah, I'm just trying to get my life sorted before next week. So I was debating what topic I wanted to discuss this week, and I was actually talking to one of my other coworkers yesterday because we were on our way to a cooking class. Our firm graciously rented out or whatever, booked this experience for us to cook in the kitchen and be taught how to make, an appetizer, a main course, a dessert. And it was a very cool experience. A little bit stressful at some parts just because, if you're not used to cooking on a gas stove, it heats up really fast. You're doing multiple things. You don't want to burn the things that you're making. Of course, there's not really going back from burning it. But honestly, everything turned out so amazingly. Everyone had a great time. The service was incredible. People were bringing us drinks like constantly. I enjoyed my sparkling apple juice. It was wonderful. And just like to be with my friends from work and experience that and then eat the food and enjoy it that we made. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. But anyway, that's all to say we were on our way to there, and my coworker and I were discussing the fact that, our home hormones are fluctuating, regularly as women, but it feels as though like 2 out of the 4 cycles that we experience in our cycle feel longer than the other 2, and realistically each one kind of lasts a week, but for some reason the luteal and the time that you get your period, I feel like that draws out longer than your other 2 cycles. So we were discussing that and like the emotions behind all of that and how we can easily get frustrated or overwhelmed or emotional and anxious. And, it's not a bad thing to feel those things. I think our hormones are supposed to do that. But it was a really interesting conversation because it got me thinking about, my mind frame when I'm in those phases of my cycle and how different I feel when I'm not in those phases. I do feel more energized. I feel more vibrant. I feel more sociable. And I go through moments where I'm very, very active on my phone, where I'm talking to all my friends. And then I go through periods where it takes me a lot longer to respond. And I think that correlates with the fact that I'm in a very certain phase of my cycle. But with that, I want to be able to manage my feelings in a proactive way. And that's not to say I'm not going to feel them. I obviously am feeling them for a reason, and it's so normal to do that. But I'd also love to be able to, gravitate towards some mind shifting techniques to get myself out of that funk. If I am feeling a little bit more emotional one day or antisocial, and to kind of turn inward into caring for myself and my body a little bit more than I would if I were in the more energized phases. I hope that made sense, but it made me think about different mantras that I personally use in my everyday life, and especially during these times or moments of, despair. I don't know if that's the right word, but what, if I'm not like feeling 100%, and we all get like that at times, it's very normal. I love to have a very optimistic mindset as much as I can. And if I find myself being in a more negative phase or complaining a lot more or just feeling really bad about myself, because again, that's normal, like I like to turn to these mantras to help shift my frame of mind. And I think mindset is kind of everything. How you think is kind of how everything turns out in your life. If you're looking at the world through these colorful lenses, and I've used that phrase a lot, but if you're looking at it in that way, even if the skies are gray, it's pouring rain, you are not feeling it. If you are thinking into existence and speaking out loud, like I have so many good things going in my life, and one bad thing isn't going to dictate the rest of the day or the week. I think that really helps. I think that it makes your brain believe that, things are okay, and they are. And so I wanted to share some of these mantras with you, things that I've heard from other people, things that I've heard from my favorite podcasters on the internet right now, and things that, I just think would resonate with you. And I hope that they do. But of course, as you're listening to today's episode, if something doesn't resonate, that is absolutely fine. You can just leave it as is. But whatever does sit true with your heart and soul, I hope that you can take that. Okie dokie. So the first mantra that I love, and this is a classic one, I know you've heard this, but it's a great reminder. So I wanted to add it in here, but it's nothing changes if nothing changes. We know that. And change is a very difficult thing. It's very uncomfortable. We love to stay in the comfort zone. I totally get it. But if you want to change your life and you want to make something happen, you're going to have to step outside of that comfort zone, be a little bit uncomfy for a little bit, and change your frame of mind in that sense. So if you want to make something happen, you have the power to do so. But just remember, nothing will change if you don't make that step. This one I love, and it's from Tinks, my favorite podcaster ever. I hope one day she listens to this, or I get to tell her, I talk about you all the time in my podcast episodes because I live for what she says. I absolutely adore the community, but she always says it's this or something better. And I think that's a really good thing to think about when you're in the trench, in the thick of like a really negative spiral, or you're struggling at work and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I've been in this career for so long and I am not happy anymore. Or you're in a relationship that's maybe not serving you, or a little bit toxic, or a friendship that, is not really giving you any energy or life or vibrancy, anything. You can take this to any area of your life, but the idea of it's this or something better goes such a long way with your frame of mind. I feel like when I'm in a rut, I'm kind of like, okay, I could keep living my life like this. It is this. I could keep going on this path, but like there's always something better to strive for. And I love that idea that you can change the course of your life at any moment and it will get better. It's truly this or something better. This one, oh my gosh, it's so important, and I do have a hard time sometimes remembering it. I'm trying to catch myself quicker, but I think a lot of us can relate to this. But I have here, you become what you think and speak. So the whole point of that is speak kindly and nicely to yourself, because your brain will believe what you tell it. If you're constantly feeding it information like, I'm so dumb, I'm worthless, I'm not worthy, your brain will believe that to be true, and the universe will continue to show you things and events and people in your life that only inhibit that feeling. They'll only present that to you. I mean, I shouldn't say only, but like that is a huge thing. If you're constantly saying, I can't do this, how is that motivational at all? How do you feel you're going to change your life if you feel so negatively about yourself, your self-worth, your self-image? Like, I'm here to remind you that you are worthy exactly as you are. You don't need to change anything about yourself. You're already loved, you're valued, and everyone is deserving of that feeling. Like, you deserve to feel love and to be loved because you are. You were born into this world for a reason, and you are an amazing human. So please try to speak a little bit kinder to yourself, because you truly become what you think and speak out loud into existence. This is a really cute one. It's kind of half of the saying, and I've definitely shared it recently before, but it's shared kindness is double the kindness. And I thought about this on my way to work yesterday. So I'm talking Friday morning, and I found myself, maybe not feeling 100%. There was a bit of rain when I left my house, very, very overcast. So it was so gray. Anyway, when I'm on my way to work, I don't want to be rained on in any capacity. And even if it's spitting, I'll pull out my umbrella because my hair's done. My hair does not do well in the humidity. And, I just don't want to come to work looking sloppy in that way. So I like to bring out my umbrella. And this particular morning, I was on my phone texting my friend. So I was actively typing and walking and holding the umbrella at the same time. Probably shouldn't do that, but I was doing that, multitasking. And so it had been a while since I checked if it was raining still, because it was, again, only spitting. But I was walking on this street. I'm like halfway to work at this point, and there was this man waiting outside of a hotel for a taxi. And I kind of like noticed him out of the corner of my eye, but like nothing crazy. And then as I was passing him, I'm almost certain he said this, and this is just such a small comment, but I obviously remembered it, but I can't be for certain because when I stopped texting, it was like just about then that I was done. I pressed play on my podcast episode. I was listening to Tinks, so I wanted to, like be fully present for that. So I don't know if I heard him correctly. It could have been a mistake, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say, "It's not even raining outside," in a very like attitude tone, if that makes sense, and then like gesturing to the sky. And I like kind of looked back and I looked at him, and maybe if I hadn't been listening to music and he actually, like, I know for certain he said that, I maybe would have just said like, it's fine, or like, have a nice day. Like, I don't really know if I would have interacted, any more than I did when I just looked at him. But I don't know, it bothered me for a little bit because in my head I was like, well, okay, how do my actions affect you? And like, okay, thanks. Thanks, sir. I mean, I can do what I want. Yeah, it's probably not raining, but you have no idea what was going on in my life. Also, people are allowed to do what they want to do to a certain extent, obviously. But like, if I want to wear an umbrella and it's not raining, like, who's to say I can't? I don't know how that's affecting you. Anyway, I just like, it kind of bothered me for like the 5 minutes that I was walking, and I was like, okay, I said okay so many times, sorry. But I just needed to stop myself because I didn't want to complain about it. I don't really want to bring up small rants like that, and I think that's healthy to do so. I know that my friends would listen to me, and I'm allowed to be annoyed. It's not a bad thing at all, but I don't think that it was bringing any peace to my life, if that makes sense. So I kind of had to remember, I just need to lead this world with kindness. I personally, if it were me in that scenario, I wouldn't have said that to anybody walking along the street when it wasn't raining and who had an umbrella. I wouldn't say that. And that's okay. Like, if he wants to live his life like that, that's totally okay. But I need to walk through this world with kindness, especially like in my everyday life to people I don't know, because it kind of radiates back to you in tenfold. So this reminder of shared kindness is double the kindness is so important, because if you are kind to others and you get to share it with the people that matter most to you in your life, it will just amplify and feel that much better and feel so, oh my gosh, so warm and fuzzy. You know the feeling. When you're laughing with your best friends so much that it hurts. You're crying because you're laughing so hard, and you just get to celebrate with the people that you love. And that's what this whole experience is about. So yeah, I just leading the world with kindness, and then the fact that you get to share it with people is just double that feeling, which that's what we want to strive for, I feel. I love this one. It's something that I have up in my desk at work, and I've definitely mentioned it before, but I have, "You'll always end up okay." I love this mantra when I am feeling particularly overwhelmed, not knowing how to navigate a situation right away. I kind of stop myself and breathe, and I even say to myself out loud, "I'll always end up okay," because you will. Like, you have navigated yourself up into this point and will continue to do so, and everything will be okay, as it always is. Two things can be true at the same time. I like this mantra for when I am feeling so many things at once. Like, part of me is understanding that I can feel this way, but another truth to me is that, like, I feel this way, and I can't think of a particular situation, but I know that you guys can relate in the sense of, like, even when you're in a relationship with somebody, friendship or otherwise, someone else may have a different perspective than you, and that doesn't mean that it's not true. Like, two things can be very true. You can love somebody and know that they're not right for you, and those are two very true things. You can also be very scared to start a new journey or a new path or move somewhere, but know that it is the right step for you to make in order to advance in a way that you want to go. Two things can be true at the same time. Love this one. I love reminding you of this, but what's meant for me will never miss me. The universe will never give you something that you're not meant to experience, and the universe will never not give you something if you're meant to experience it. You are meant every single thing that comes in your path, even if it's unfair. And it will be and feel sometimes unfair for a moment of time until you understand or move forward in another way to, okay, it all makes sense now. I had to go through this to get where I am today. And sometimes those lessons are a little bit longer. Sometimes they're tedious. Sometimes they are deeply unfair. And I completely acknowledge that. And I also acknowledge the fact that, I can't understand sometimes how the universe or God can take away a loved one so early on, or there can be a tragedy like that. All, I can't really fathom why those things happen, why loss happens. Like, why do we have to go through those difficult things and grief and pain and heartache? But I do all know it's meant for a reason. And I like to live my life in that way, just knowing that the universe will always present to me what I'm meant to have, what I'm truly meant to sit with at the time. This too shall pass. What a beautiful mantra. And it's so true when you're in a moment that's not so great, that you want to get out of desperately. This too shall pass, I'm sure, can help you. It's a great reminder to know that things do not last forever. You might be on this path for a tiny bit longer than you maybe want to, but it will pass. Eventually the feeling will lessen. If it's a really, really extreme, overwhelming feeling of grief or heartache or loss, those things. If it's hard, it'll pass. It always does. You can get through it. Okay, I have 2 more mantras for you. This one, the second last one, is also from Tinks. I love this one. I've also shared it in one of my episodes. I can't remember if it was a title of one of them. I feel like it was. But especially for the summer, I want us to have this mantra that having fun is so much fun. It so is. And honestly, it's contagious. Just like laughing is contagious, having fun is incredibly contagious. And I love to think about this when I am, out and about living my life. If there is an inconvenience that comes up, a minor inconvenience, I could even say the event on Friday was an inconvenient thing, that little interaction with that stranger. But, I could tell myself, yeah, I can let this affect me for the rest of the day or the morning or however long, 10 more minutes. Or I can just find ways in my day to have fun because it's so much fun. And guess what? After work, I had so much fun. I went to get a little matcha with my friends in the morning. That was fun. I got to, introduce them to one of my favorite matcha places, and we had a blast, drinking it. And I just found little ways to find joy in my day. But having fun is so incredibly fun. So I want us to be more silly and goofy and find joy in the small moments, and also fill our summer with activities and saying yes to things and being in that mindset of summer of outside, like Tink says, because truly we want to have fun in this life. Why do we want to be stressed out constantly? It's not good for our physical or emotional well-being at all. I don't think it creates more life expectancy. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of dwindles in every area. It's just not good. So, like, why don't we just try to live life with more silliness and just lightheartedness and fun, because it's an incredible feeling to have. Okay, this last one I heard from Instagram. It was this longer video, somebody speaking some motivational things. I don't think I saved it, but if I did, I'll of course tag the profile in the show notes. But it's a really important one to end off on, and it's be where you are. And we've talked about this before, of that, we're kind of used to being human doings and not human beings. But being where you are right now is a very good reminder and good mantra to sit in the present, to acknowledge that, you need to slow down, and you need to enjoy this moment for it is right now, because you don't know how long it'll last. You maybe if you're future tripping or you're kind of living in the past and thinking about what ifs or what if, you're going to move forward into your future self thinking, wow, I wish I just had more fun when I was 20 years old. I wish I wasn't so serious, or I wish I didn't think so far ahead into the future of how I was going to live my life. I wished I was just more present with my friends at every single outdoor barbecue we had, or sport event, or just sitting by yourself and hanging out. Like, I wish I was more present where I was, right under my feet. So be where you are. We're meant to be in the present because the future is a gift and it's unknown, and the past is in the past. We don't want to be dragging that forward with us. And I think if we remind ourselves, I am a human being, I'm meant to be exactly where I am, it can help us stay a little bit more cognizant and present of all of the incredible things that are around us. Well, guys, as always, thank you for listening to today's episode. That is what I have for you on some of the mantras that I use to help shift my frame of mind. I hope that they helped you. If you feel like any of these could help out a friend, a loved one in your life, please forward this episode to them. That would mean so much. I have been lacking on posting on social media. I think just with the warm weather, being out and about with my friends all the time, this fitness challenge too, it's taken a lot of my time where I want to be active and outside, and I love it. So I've been kind of lacking on the Instagram front, so I should be posting more, and I'm going to try my best. But as always, I just love to sit down and chit chat with you. I love to catch you up on what I've been doing. I love to hear about what you guys have been up to. Even if I don't respond right away, I would love to hear it. Please reach out. And I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you, so I hope that you feel it. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you. Okay, bye.